new segment time. Second segment, the news.
News. New. There's not new. It's not a plural. I'm sorry.
All right. Share your screen.
Like,
show us the article here.
So, like you, I found, well, unlike you, I found something, but unlike you, I did not, find. Restoring touch and nerves damaged by injury.
Fascinating.
So, this is what is really interesting to me. So they have not finished. They're still, their work seems very promising with their technology. And what they want to do is to find a way to put sensors at the tip of your finger and then link that to functioning nerve cells to functioning nerve endings nearby. There's a hope to bypass damaged nerve cells. And then, in theory, if you could bypass that signal, you could still send a feeling of touch. The brain could then try to interpret. And so they still need to do clinical trials and all that. But it's just saying that their technology that they have developed seems very promising.
So is it just like one sensor, or is like the sensor like encompass your finger? Because like one little sensor is going to be kind of annoying. You've only got one spot of touch.
Yeah, so that I'm not totally sure on, but I mean, I'm kind of curious to know whether or not it's like a glove thing, because I think it kind of depends on how much is lost. Is your whole finger gone, or like whether or not it's just you just burned part of it, or it's because it also depends on how you lost your touch too. Because if it's a part of the brain that's not working well, then this won't work.
Right.
It involves the part of your brain that can signal pain and feeling and all that still being fully functional.
I feel like we're at a race right now between artificial sensors and regrowing nerves. And like which one's gonna win?
Oh yeah. Because I mean I think we're approaching the day when, we're getting closer to the day. I think it's still probably like another 50 years away. In my opinion, 50 years away before we'll have stem cell research advanced enough to the point that we can regrow like full-on limbs.
And a whole body is the dream.
A full body. Because I mean, like, in theory we can do it. We've done it on rats, but we've never encompassed clinical trials of that sort of magnitude.
We've regrown an entire rat before?
I know, we've grown like ears on rats.
Oh, yeah.
It's not functional. I mean, we've regrown body parts on rats, but that's about it. I haven't like regrown like an entire arm on a person.
I think the part,
my knowledge,
really
so that I think we're 50 years away before we reach that sort of magnitude.
I mean, I think we could be there sooner if they would just let us do the proper research here in the U.S. instead of having to do it in some third world country where they don't have morals.
Yeah, that's the big thing is morals.
Because, like, I mean, if we did it here in the U.S., I feel like
and for the longest time, I think it was 2008, we were unable to. Stem cell research kind of came to a halt because the only way to do it was to kill an embryo. When a mother has a kid, in its first day, really, the cells are stem cells that can really be turned into, they're universal stem cells.
Right.
They've not been designated any specific purpose. Those cells you can use to create a bone, create a brain, heart, a liver, whatever. But The moment that you decide to path that cell, you kill the embryo.
Right.
And so that was the big moral dilemma, is that you're basically just killing a child. You can make a new limb for a person who's already living.
It's not a child.
But then
of cells.
What?
It's not a child. It's a collection of cells. Jesus.
And so, but now we have stem cell research advanced to the point that we can forget. I don't recall how the process works now, but I have a way to get around that.
We can harvest stem cells?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I believe so. It's cutting edge technology, but I believe, yes, we can harvest stem cells currently.
If we could just grow them in a lab without them just mutating and destroying telomeres.
But that's the thing. I think it's still in its early stages of development,
Right.
Which is why, in my opinion, we're still 50 years away.
I mean, as long as I can 50. Oh, that's too far. It's too far. I need a new body before.
I wanted to give a long magnitude because I don't feel comfortable saying 20 years. I feel like that's
right.
I think that's too close.
I hope it's sooner than that. I don't know if I'll make it to 70. I need.
Well, I mean, I watched something. I watched something that said Musk was saying that at his current rate, he's gonna die before humans go to Mars.
Oh, that's rough.
At our current rate of scientific development and space achievements,
NASA says 2035. Musk isn't even that old. He'll live to be 2030.
Yeah, I mean, they say things. They said we're going to be back on the moon by 2020.
The NASA's latest development is 2024.
Yeah, see, they keep pushing it back.
But they're it's a matter. Well, the problem was the funding, but
It's always your money.
But since they have the Biden administration until 2024, the Biden administration has guaranteed the funding. So, they just have to get it done before the administration changes hands again. Either way...
They want to put a man on the moon or a probe on the moon?
A woman on the moon.
Woman on the moon.
A woman and a man. Preferably a woman, then a man.
Yeah.
That's their goal.
I mean, they could do both. I mean, it's not a solo... They set up solo flight to the moon?
Well, no, it'll be a woman and a man. And she'll be the first one to take the first steps, and then it'll be the man. I think they already even have their astronauts picked.
Fair enough.
And they're training them.
My point is, they just keep pushing it further and further back.
Well, the problem was
I think the whole thing was that I wanted to have a base on the moon too, as like a pit stop
for Mars, yeah.
Before they could go to Mars.
But that's based off of NASA's tech. We don't need based off of what Elon's developing. We don't need a base on the moon.
It'd make it easier.
Yes, but Elon, because of the way Elon's designed the Starship, we don't need a moon.
Are you going to use a gravity assist from the moon?
Well, his plan is.
That's also another big thing, is that you kind of have a window of opportunity when you do this. Otherwise, it no longer becomes.
Right.
It's no longer efficient because if you have to travel distance from Earth to Mars going across the solar system by the sun, no. It's easiest to do when Earth and Mars will be at their closest approach.
Right.
And so you want to time that so that way when they're at their closest approach, you'll be there.
Once
you'll
every 2
literally
years.
Be there. Yes. Is it once every 2 years?
Yeah.
I never knew how fast it is.
I'm pretty sure it's once every 2 years. It's pretty often.
Oh, never mind then.
Because
even then, that means when you
orbital times.
My point is that when you miss your chance, do you wait 2 years? Because you don't want to rush.
Right.
You don't want to rush and skip
that's
protocol.
not what I'm getting at, though. Well, I wasn't getting at like that. What I was getting at is that the Starship, it will basically go up with minimal fuel, just enough to orbit Earth, or maybe orbit the moon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it needs enough to escape gravitational attraction of the Earth.
Right, but they're going to give it just enough fuel to get into orbit. That's it. And then they're going to send up a starship that's just fuel. It will then rendezvous with the one that has the people on it, fill it up completely, because that means that they don't need us that big of a booster anymore to get the whole thing into space.
Yes,
So the whole thing can be smaller. So it's like having a third stage without having a attached third stage.
Oh, okay.
It gets around the need for a possible third stage. It also enables them to send one ahead of them that has fuel. That way they can get to Mars and potentially refuel in orbit before landing, or once they land, take off, refuel in orbit, and then go back.
Hmm?
That's what the Starship system allows, is for them to refuel in orbit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because like those other systems, they just have to like gravity slingshot, and it's a lot slower. But if you can propel yourself there faster, with propellant, even though I know that's not how orbital mechanics work, doesn't matter. You can just get yourself going faster.
Yeah.
But you've seen Invincible. I really question that Mars mission. They got there in like 2 days.
I haven't seen the last two.
Oh, the Mars one's before the last two.
Was it?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Mars one?
I don't know. Describe more.
So
I watched it a long time ago.
it has the face eaters.
Keep going.
So he has to hitch a ride with the shuttle looking thing, and that he's there to just protect them. But once they get to Mars, spoilers. Once they get to Mars, he takes a nap, but then wakes up, realizes he can't find the astronauts. Well, the astronauts went underground and met the leader of Mars. And the leader of Mars, he has to kill them because of the face eater, like parasite things. Because if they took control of the humans, it would lead to the destruction of Mars and Earth.
See, watched it a long time ago. I don't recall that.
Well, anyways, their Mars trip is like they get there in 2 days.
Really?
It seems like it, yeah. And I'm like, how in the ever-loving heck did they do that? I was talking to Rooster about this. They were traveling at like 1,000 kilometers a second or something stupid.
I mean, Voyager 1 is doing 36,000 miles an hour.
Right, but this was like 1,000 kilometers.
Here, let's look. The shortest distance. Mars. 33. Minimum distance is 33.9 million.
And to get there
miles.
and to get there in 2 days.
9 times 10 to the 6. Yes. We'll say 2 days.
Yeah.
It
kind of looks that way.
4 times 2 is 48 hours. Times 60 minutes? Oh. 48 hours. Oh, yeah, that was divided by 48.
I did all the math, but I don't remember it.
Let me get my calculator.
I can do the math right now. How many miles is it? Do. There's that many minutes. There's that many seconds. 60.
This is 700,000 miles an hour.
That's faster than the speed of light, isn't it?
Oh?
What's speed of light?
Speed of light is 1 million
Oh, that's right.
miles an hour. No. 700 million. The reason why I know it is because the speed of light is Mach 1 million.
Oh.
So the speed of sound is roughly 700 miles an hour.
So anyways, so they get to
So
Mars.
the light is 700 million.
But
this is 700,000.
Just 700,000 miles per hour. Despite the fact, let's ignore the fact that the acceleration to get to that point would kill you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because like, what would that? Let's assume you accelerate 9.8 meters per second.
I mean, what do cryogenic chambers do? Do they get around that? Because I mean, you're like in a block of ice.
Well, I don't know. No, that's like the movie version of a cryogenic chamber.
Yeah, but if you're in a block of ice, I feel like.
But that's the movie version. A real version is you're not frozen. I mean, not like a block of ice, but you are frozen. Your guts are still gonna be able to slosh around.
Wait, really? I thought it was like you were frozen, like you were like a icicle.
I don't. But okay, yeah, but like, there's empty space in your body unless they fill that up with the antifreeze, which keeps your organs in place. Then yeah, I guess.
I thought the only air was space was your lungs.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not.
Body's filled with fluid.
But like, there's your organs move
fluid.
past each. Your organs can move past each other.
Yes, there's a lot of fluids.
But like, unless they freeze those those fluids, and that's enough to hold your organs in place.
I don't know much about the biomechanics of
The human body.
Cryogenic freezing, but
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know.
That's what I mean, but either way,
How fast did...
It would take longer to freeze them and wake them up than it would for the trip at that point.
How fast did the Parker probe get?
I don't
Remember that thing back in 2018?
Yeah, I remember the Parker space probe. I don't remember how fast
It
it's
went... How fast did that go? Because I feel like that did something...
going to do. It's going to go fast.
It already did... Oh, well, when it's done with its mission.
Yeah.
It's getting closer and closer. Top speed at 200 kilometers a second. 200 kilometers a second is its top speed.
That ain't making it to Mars in 2 days.
Kilometers per second, 2 miles per hour.
That's not getting you to Mars in 2 days.
It's like 2/3 of the way there. It's 400,000 miles an hour.
About half. Right, but it's going to take it like 6 years to accelerate to that.
Yeah, but...
You'll be to Mars before then.
My point
You'll
is...
be at Jupiter by then.
I don't know about Jupiter, but...
You're damn
My
close.
point is...
It only took Voyager a few years to get to Jupiter. Like, it only took Voyager like 6 years to get to Jupiter. And it's not even going that fast.
It's going pretty damn fast. It's going like...
The Parker space probe will be the fastest thing humans have ever
I told
made.
you about it. It's going 10 miles a second.
Yeah, but the Parker space probe will be the fastest thing humans have ever made.
Will be, yes.
And, you know, it took... But yeah,
No, I always
think about it.
imagine.
It took Voyager
what
6 years.
if it does a gravity? What if we send it out? We have it do a gravity assist around the sun at its top speed. Sling it off. Another gravity assist around Jupiter. Sling it off again. It'll be
Where are we going with it? You've already gone halfway across the solar system. Actually, you've already gone almost all the way across the solar system at that point. Where are we going?
We're going to Alpha Centauri. Because right now it'll take Voyager like 40,000 years to get to Alpha Centauri.
Still, though.
See if we can cut that down a bit.
Yeah, to 1,000 years?
Yeah. Within human lifetime.
Within human...
So I feel like 40,000 years from now...
Could you imagine waking up 40,000 years from now? Like, you just wake up at Alpha Centauri, right? There's nothing there. You've only got.
I was trying to imagine what it would be like to wake up on Earth 40,000 years from now.
Well, I mean, okay. Let's think about this. First, let's think about these astronauts. Actually, because I had this exact question I proposed to somebody at work. Similar question. So let's think about this. You wake up at Alpha Centauri, right? You've only probably got like a month's worth of rations, right?
Oh.
All right, and then you get frozen again to get sent back to Earth, and that's probably going to take 100,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get back, you are now almost 200,000 years old.
Oh.
And there won't be a human civilization.
Oh. No.
Earth will be wild again. If humanity... Actually, humanity might not even be on the Earth in 200,000 years. We'll probably leave.
That's my point.
We'll send these people out. Send them out. And then we'll, like, while they're gone, we'll develop something faster. Go to Alpha Centauri. Beat them there. And, like, welcome them. Welcome!
Yeah.
That's like,
welcome, you made it.
You beat us here. Well, yeah, I mean, we had 40,000 years to develop a warp drive, which is plenty of time. And actually, I think what science says, like 1,000 years was what they're predicting to have a warp drive.
Once again, a prediction.
Right. I mean, some say 100 years before we have a warp drive. But 1,000 years, let's say we develop a warp drive. Okay, so we've had 44,000 years after that, 43,000 years after that to do whatever we want. You know, we've developed a warp drive so we can get all the way across the galaxy in a few days.
Oh.
You know, we can go to Andromeda, you know, in a month.
Oh, I just remembered what the other. I'll have to make this another new fourth segment. You're going to talk to me about the elements.
Oh. Damn. There's too many things to talk about.
That'll be in the next week.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me.
Oh.
Anyways, so yeah. So I asked this question at work. Let's just so we can get to the end of this segment here. We are running out of time. Well, not running out, but we might run out of time if we keep going at this pace. I asked the question: would you freeze? Would you, if somebody came to you today and said, "I can freeze you and wake you up in the year 2100," would you take it?
Mm.
If I came to you and I said, I can freeze you and you will wake up in the year 2100.
See, the thing is, I always kind of would like to be the old wise man in the year 2100. And he was like, lived through all the drama the previous years. It could talk about it. Now, it's always fun to talk to old people about, what the 30s and 20s were like,
Yeah.
Or like what the 40s. Because, our grandfather could talk about the 40s and 50s. He was born in 1930.
Right.
And so, I always thought it would be kind of cool, to talk about, what life was like. Because, the 50s, just seems like that's 70 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool, to talk about, yeah. Back when COVID was riding high,
But think about the year...
we had our own shit show problems.
Think about the year 2100, though. And I suspect by the year 2100, you'll be able to get a new body.
Body, yeah.
We'll have immortality by then.
Well, it's basically a ship of Theseus problem. Because I feel like basically what they're going to do is they're going to get to the point where they're going to have an AI that can think like you, makes decisions like you. It'll have your memories. It'll be an AI that thinks like you. So basically, in a sense, you're kind of alive, but not really. You're basically dead. There's just a machine that's thinking like you on the Earth.
So, okay, here's the thing. They do this on.
You're gone. You're dead. Okay.
They do this on Invincible.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it because I think it is one of the last 2 episodes. So, but they talk about transferring consciousness.
But in my mind, that's kind of where we would be heading in terms of immortality.
Well, let's say that we don't. Let's say yes, we do that, but we also perfect body technology, gene editing technology, and all that, and so we just grow you a new body, and we transfer your consciousness.
Yeah, but my point is it's a ship of Theseus. It's not really you.
True.
It's someone that looks like you and thinks like you, but you're dead.
I mean, the question will be, if the transferring process destroys your old brain, destroys you.
It's a brain that thinks like you, has the memories of you, but they're not original memories. They're reconstructed memories.
You know, we were talking about. Okay, well, I think this would be easier than transferring consciousness. What if we come up with a way to repair brain tissue? Think about it this way, okay? Your brain, you have these memories in there. And truth be told, once you live past 100, you're not going to remember everything anyways. So, what if we implement something, some way, that allows your brain to repair itself? If a cell starts to get worn out, it replicates it and its neural connections and then kills the old cell. It's still you. You're still going to have the same memory. It might forget some things, like memories that were there that you forgot about, but you could still technically access them. But once those neurons regenerate and you get new neurons, it's forgotten because those neurons forget that pathway. But like if it's something like breathing or like your birth date, you'll always remember your birth date or where you went to high school or who you're married to. That kind of stuff.
That's the thing. See, the thing is that I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Okay, like. Because to me, it's a problem of whether or not the brain is whether or not memories are physical or not. Because how I think about it, let's say you have 2 points, right? And you need to connect the distance. Let's say that the road, the highway, or whatever between these 2 points is fading away. So now you need to construct a new bridge. Basically, you destroy the old bridge. Okay. Now, if memories are physical, this point still exists, and basically you're just creating a new highway between these 2 points. Mm-hmm. But if they aren't, I wonder if creating these 2 new points is just a way to override the space that is already there with a new memory. You're creating a new pathway for your brain to now insert a new memory. Whatever had existed there, now that there's a new highway, is gone. Whatever had existed there previously was destroyed along with the highway and the recreation process. And so now basically you just have a new location to insert a new memory.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing that I don't know.
I
don't know if when you reconstruct neural pathway, if you are reconstructing an entire new location ready to take place, or if you're simply reconstructing the pathway to old.
By 2100 we'll know.
Yes. We should know, yes.
By the year 2100 we'll know. But either way, I don't think it's... The only scary part is the day that you lose the information, but you regain it. If your theory is correct, that's the scary. That'll be the scariest day of your
Basically
life.
like saying memories never die. You only lose the thought, the pathway to them. And if we can reconstruct pathways, you can literally remember everything that ever happened in your life.
Right. Well, we can't.
And I'm not sure if that's the case.
I don't think we can.
I'm not sure if it's just giving you access to remember more. It's that you can just store more memories.
I don't think it will. That's why I'm saying.
Because we still don't.
So here's my theory. Here's how this would work. One day you're gonna forget your birthday, right?
Yes.
You're just gonna forget it because the neurons that store that will be too.
It's not like forget. It's like it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and.
But no. But
you can remember what you did yesterday.
No, here's the thing: is yes, it's gonna become weaker and weaker and weaker. But somebody's gonna ask you, "What's your birthday?" and it's gonna get rerouted to a new neuron that's not dying. That's my point. Because it'll do that. Because obviously your brain's not gonna reroute you're not gonna reroute it to a dead neuron or a dying neuron. It's gonna reroute it to a new one.
Hold up.
So you're not gonna
Are
forget.
you saying the factual information?
Yes.
Of when your birthday is, or you say okay? Because I wasn't sure if you were describing like, let's say your current birthday. You can remember your last birthday.
Right. No.
Years from now, the details of this birthday start to fade.
I'm talking about the date. Because here's what's gonna happen. Someone's gonna ask you, "What's your birthday?" And you're gonna pause for a minute, and be like, "I don't know." And then you'll pull out your wallet and your ID and be like, "Oh, I was born this day." That will be the scariest day of your life. Because that will be the day that your brain has started to forget old memories. Because here's the thing, right? As you get older and older and older, we're talking 20, 50, 20. We're talking 120, 150 years old.
Yeah.
Things that happened 100 years ago aren't going to be relevant compared to what happened the last year.
Yes.
And so your
birthday is relevant every year.
Right. Well, the year you're born, though. The year you're born. That'll be the crucial one. That's what'll happen. They're like, oh, mine's this date. What year? Oh, you'll forget.
Possibly,
You'll feel like you forgot, but you didn't. Like you actually, that memory is gone. But
okay, continue. Get on with your point. Where were we going with this?
So what'll happen is those 100 years worth of memories will be lost because the new technology could regenerate neurons, but those neurons don't have the same connections. Now breathing and walking and that kind of stuff, since you do that every single day, that happens all the time, and that's multiple neurons, unless that whole section of your brain dies,
continue.
That's not going to stop. But something like your birthday, that's probably only a few neurons.
Okay.
Which means you could feasibly forget it completely.
Okay.
But like,
where are you going with this?
You're gonna forget. You're gonna forget all these old memories.
Yes.
You're gonna forget all of them. So your life will just be like a 20-year span or 30 year, whatever your brain deems as the most valuable information, and you're just gonna know your birth date. Like I was born in the year 2000 on this date in April. And then they'll be like, "Oh, so what's your earliest memory?" Well, I remember the year 2100. I don't remember that 100 years. I remember nothing about my childhood. I know I went to this school. I know I went and got this degree.
Yes.
I know I got married this date. I know I met my girlfriend this date. But you don't remember any experiences because those dates, those are written down. Those are known events. You can go and recall them.
Yes.
In physical format. And you'll remember like videos and pictures that you've seen, but you're not gonna remember like the
yes.
You won't have any true memories of anything, say, older than 20 years.
That was the point I was trying to make earlier. But the point I was trying to make earlier is that when you have this new AI thinking.
It's not an AI. I'm not saying it's an AI. It's your actual brain. It's the same brain, but so you're saying so the neurons don't die, and so now the neurons regenerate.
You're saying that when we can regenerate highways, you're saying that the points disappear and we can write over them.
Yeah.
You don't fall into the camp that the memories are still there, and reconstructing a highway does not reconstruct a highway to that necessary point in time.
No. Once that neuron dies, or once the brain deems that neuron is no longer functional enough, like say it starts to switch on and off slower than the other neurons, it stops using it and tells the immune system, "Hey, get rid of this neuron. We'll make a new one." It's whatever that neuron was storing, it's gone now.
What I think would be really cool, though,
but here's the thing:
is that in order to support the theory that places still exist, I wonder if that would imply if we could have some powerful brain scanning technology, could scan neuron by neuron, atom by atom, and reconstruct an entire brain. That brain should be able to think exactly like you, because it would have all your current memories and thought patterns, and it should have all your memories. It should remember everything you've ever done. Otherwise, it'd be like creating a blank slate memory. A blank slate brain.
It is creating a blank slate brain. Because, yes, it still has all of this information.
No. I'm saying memories are no longer there. It's basically creating a brain that has no memory stored on it. It's like creating a flash drive. No memories are on it.
Yeah.
That's the camp you fall into. You're creating basically an empty flash drive.
Yep.
The other theory is that you're creating a flash drive that's completely full.
But that's
because memories are physical.
The problem is that's not you.
It's a hypothesis. Yes, it's a hypothesis. It's not technically you, but it would have all your memories and all your current thought patterns.
Doesn't matter. It's not you. This other one is just.
My point is, but that's not my point. That's not my point. It's not the point of whether or not it's you or not. It's the point of whether or not it's an empty flash drive or whether or not it's a full flash drive.
I would be more comfortable with an empty flash drive than a full flash drive. Because a full flash drive, well, either way, I'm going to forget those anyways. So I'd rather it just be empty. I'd rather it just be empty, and I know that this is still me.
So that means that there's nothing unique about a neuron.
No.
Every neuron,
not at that point,
does not have some intrinsic detail atomically that makes it unique.
Beforehand it did.
No. I'm saying that your current brain, take two memories, two different neurons, at the atomic level, is there anything structurally, intrinsically different?
Why would there be?
Well, I wonder if there is. Because if there is, then that means memories are physical. They have a physical meaning. It's hard to think about.
Either way. My problem is either way, you're not going to remember 200 years worth of information. They talk about this in Doctor Who. There's this girl who gets immortality because she was ingested with some nanobots. And the nanobots constantly repair her. And so
but you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that when you forget memories, all that's happening is that the connections are dying out.
Right, but we're deleting whole neurons here, so those connections are gone.
My point is that if we could save how those neurons are constructed. If memories are physical, we could reconstruct an entire new memory.
Yeah, but what is you? That's the question. The
Yeah.
real question is, what are you? Are you a collection of memories? Because in that case, well, then it won't. There's no way to transfer what is you into another body, unless there's a collection of neurons that we can just pick out, put those into the new brain, and then transfer those to another. Let those then get copied into this new brain, right? It's the same neurons, okay? These neurons then like get those pathways get copied into a new set of neurons. Those old neurons that were a part of your old body die, but now those same pathways are still saved. You have no idea that it happened. You know, you have no idea that the old you died. Because at some
Oh, that's interesting.
if we can find the collection of neurons that make up you,
That would be interesting.
if those are a thing. I don't think they're a thing. I want them to be a thing, because if they are a thing, that makes immortality super easy. But if they aren't a thing, that makes immortality way more difficult, and we have to figure out how to regenerate neurons.
Could you recognize yourself? See, it's very interesting. Because you go your whole life growing, changing. Compare your pictures year by year, you've changed, but yet you always say it's you.
Yeah.
You've never once called yourself someone new. I mean, that's more like an identity. That's more like an identity crisis. That's more like an identity crisis. But my point is
Truth
that
be told, I can't recognize.
you would
baby
recognize that
pictures of
at
me.
one point in your life that was you.
I can't recognize. Oh yeah, maybe at one point, but like now, I can't recognize baby pictures of me. I can't tell if that's me or my brother. Me and my brother look the same. From like 2 to 3, from like 0 to 3, we looked the same. I was a little chubbier, but we looked relatively the same. I can't tell the difference. My parents can. I can't.
No, that's what I want to know. That would be cool. Is if if there was a way to take some memory out of you, turn it into a picture that has never been taken, show it to you and ask you to identify who that is. If you could recognize who that is. Because, I mean, obviously you've looked in the mirror since you were a toddler.
Yeah.
You don't have a picture of every instant you were alive.
No.
You only recognize baby pictures that you believe to be you because you were told they are you.
Yeah. So
My
you
point
can
is-
take an instance.
My point is,
when I was,
could
like,
you
5.
recognize you, a random picture, like 10 years ago? Or,
So somewhere in my brain, there's a memory of me looking
there's a memory of you looking at yourself in the mirror.
when I was 5.
You were, say, 5. If there was a way to take that memory out, turn it into a digitalized picture, print it or process it, show you that picture, and say, who is this?
I don't
Is
think
this some
you
random
remember.
kid? Is this a family member? Or is this you? I don't think you would. And let's say you cropped out the background, okay? Cropped out the background and just put a gray background behind it.
I don't think you'll be able to tell.
I don't think you would. Yeah.
I think you're like, that might be my brother. I mean, especially me. I might be like, that looks like.
I don't think you
that
could
might be my
recognize that's
brother.
you.
I might say it's my brother. Mike, is that my brother or me?
But see, the point is that you're comparing that face to faces you know.
Yeah, I'm not comparing it to mine.
Not comparing it to yourself. No, because you're told, okay, do I know
Now-
this face? Let me cross-reference this with every face I've ever seen.
Now, if you took my hand from 10 years ago, I could tell you that's my hand.
Really?
Yeah, because I know the distinctive markers of my hand.
Not like the back of your hand, yeah. Oh.
Because the Mythbusters, they tested that. Can you identify
Really?
your hand? You can't.
You can?
People can't.
I can't.
They can't. They don't. Nobody pays attention to their hands. However, I know what my hands look like. Because my hands have distinct markers, and I know that's my hand. For instance, my my left hand has a triangle of 3 moles. You see that?
Mm,
And then on my right hand's a little more difficult. But see, that's the thing. People don't have moles on their hands. They don't.
I have one.
It's very rare.
have
Moles
one.
on hands apparently are very rare. Just like moles on your face are very rare. I forgot I have a mole on my face. I don't remember where it is. It's on. I think it's in here somewhere. It's right here. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there. Yeah, I have a mole on my face right there. Moles on your face and on your hands. They're very rare. So that's one way to distinguish yourself from somebody else. Anyways, so then especially on the underside,
I don't have a mole on the underside.
I have a mole on the underside. See that?
Yeah.
And then also my left hand, I have one. Right there. So I know what my hands look like. I don't know how it's bleeding. I just looked at my hand after eating my sandwich. I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. What do you know? Anyways, we should probably move on to the third segment. This is a very cool segment we talked about here. That was a very good article you picked.
Should we skip this and move on to digging a hole?
No, well, the comments will be quick.
Oh, okay.